Do you ever feel like you spend most of your day just scrolling on your phone? Or is your screen time a little bit higher than you'd like to admit? On average, people spend around 5 hours every day just on their phones. But for some people, that can go up to even 8 hours or 10 hours. This issue has really made me think, like, what exactly did we do before we had our phones? And was life really better back then, or are we just confusing our feelings about new tech with nostalgia of the past? I grew up in the middle of nowhere, a small town in the Midwest, and I was kind of part of the last generation to grow up without all of this overwhelming technology. And even when most of my friends started getting smartphones in middle school, I didn't get one until well into high school. I mean, going anywhere in my hometown took about an hour by car, and I didn't have anything to keep me entertained in those long car rides. So I literally would just make up stories in my mind and use my imagination, or I was forced to talk to the people next to me for entertainment. I did have a lot of fun growing up this way, but I do remember being bored very often. But I honestly think boredom is part of the human experience. It's really important because it forces us to be creative and think outside of the box. And that's something I honestly kind of miss these days. It seems like everyone is just constantly glued to their phone screens. And I don't think this is necessarily a healthy way to live. I've even started to resent myself sometimes for being constantly drawn to social media. And I've found it hard to enjoy things I used to like because social media is destroying my attention span. I also feel like most of the stuff on my phone is just a huge distraction anyway. It's not really helping me in any sort of way. I don't feel good when I'm using it, and I don't feel good after I use it. And sometimes when I share things online, like the books that I've been reading recently, or some books that I recently finished, I always get comments saying stuff like, wow, 都有时间看书了. But what you don't realize is just how much time you waste every day just staring at your phone. It honestly doesn't matter how busy you think you are. You do have time to do things. You're just constantly distracted. And personally, all of these distractions and just general brain fog has kind of led me to feeling like I want my old life back. I miss who I was before I had my phone. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to sneak books and a flashlight into my bedroom at night so I could keep reading even after my parents told me it was time for bed. And I really miss that person. So I challenged myself to no social media for a week just to see what kind of changes I would experience in my daily life. And here's what I found. In the beginning, it was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. I never realized how strong the urge to check my phone was until I forced myself to not look at it. As the days went by, I started thinking more clearly. I wasn't rushing through every moment just to get to the next notification. I stopped checking my phone while eating, while walking, while waiting in line, or sitting down at a restaurant. And what surprised me the most was how quiet my mind felt. Not like quiet in a scary way, but kind of peaceful. After a week, things eventually started to get a little bit easier, and I focused on more things to do to fill the gaps that I would usually use by just scrolling mindlessly on my phone. And honestly, now when I go out, I challenge myself to not pick up the phone. It doesn't really make sense to want to be on my phone doing the exact same thing I do when I'm at home. When I go outside, I want to be outside. I want to be present. I want to look at the people, the sky, the trees, and the strangers passing by. And I know that sounds really simple or maybe even boring, but it's kind of something I had forgotten how to do. And now I really don't even reach for my phone that much anymore. When I have downtime, I'll just put on some music, maybe light a candle, or listen to an audiobook while I do something else around the house. And I feel like my imagination is starting to come back, and that's a part of myself that I've honestly really missed. And time itself honestly feels different. Days feel longer, And after I finish what I need to do for the day, I actually have more free time to enjoy the things that I want to do. I'm not wasting hours without even realizing it. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to use social media again. Obviously, I'm here making this video, but I do want to use it with more intention. I really don't want to live a life where I'm somewhere else mentally all the time. I want to be able to soak up every moment of life. So now I want to ask you, have you ever taken a break from social media? And did it change anything for you? I really want to know your experience, so feel free to leave it in the comments. And if you haven't tried it yet, I really challenge you to just try and go one whole day without social media and see how it feels. You might be surprised by how much of yourself comes back.